Introduction. The art of wood carving is a form of handicraft that has long existed in Malay society. Woodwork is as common as stone carving, sculpture, and metalwork. The period between the 1st and the 14th century is known as the Hindu period. It was a period of the union of two cultures, which is Hindu and Malay. Certain elements of the Hindu culture, such as language, literature, religion, beliefs, shamanism, custom, architecture, handicraft, and weaving, had gone through into indigenous Malay culture. Before the transitional period, Malay society was free from cultural influence. Calligraphic elements in Malay carving appeared after the arrival of Islam in Malay society. These elements took the form of Arabic characters burst from the Quran and a local Arabic writing called Jawi. They are also a combination of calligraphic cosmic and the other elements that are very suitable and useful for patterns.
My name is Muhammad Samir Beneda and I'm going to present Content 2.0. Calligraphy appeared after the Malays were Islamized. Calligraphy is one of the elements that applied in Malay wood carving. Before the transitional period, Malay society was free from any other cultural influence or any religion obligation. They were free to carve any types of the elements that they want. Most of the motif of that time was influenced by the concept of living. The Malay society in that time also often using a motif of animal. This is because the Malay society on that period was have no any influence on other cultural and religions. And the most common motif that based on animal is the motif known kepala cicak placed at the kitchen and roof base. As we can see, this is the examples of motif kepala cicak that exists before the arrival of Islam. And this is another example of wood carving that based on animal motif. The process of Islamization of Malay world has been attributed to tireless efforts of Sufi and ulama who consequently shaped the philosophy, form and contents of traditional Malay arts. As religious teachers and missionaries, they had brought the new faith of Islam to the island of people, preaching new concept of life and ideals of community living and social justice. This also including the art in Malay world. The art of carving was given a new attention. Unsuitable elements which were contradictory to the teaching of Islam were gradually discarded. Human and animals motifs were disguised so that they did not depict the real forms. And after the transitional cultural in Malay world, and this Islamization allowed the growth of calligraphy in Malay art. And this is the example of the calligraphy that has the Arabic alphabet in it.
Next, took the form of Arabic characters. Calligraphy, in general view, is a simple joint letter and form. The simple writing style, we call naskah, or craftsmen soften it and make it angle-like. The oldest could be inscription or in the most abstract forms, structured and thicknet, overlapping, lightening and bending. It like the tulip style. Furthermore, in the Middle Eastern country, there are many calligraphic writing styles, such as Diwani, Rika, and Nastali. Besides Sufi, naskah and tulip apply to the correct iterator and exterator of Malayan manuscripts. Islamic calligraphy were also introduced to the craftsmen, giving them the inspiration to produce a new motif in craft, wood, with Arabic inspirations. The traditional motifs such as geometry, flowers, this type of motif mentioned can be seen well in the decoration of religions, buildings, flowers, and the dominant motif of wood carvings, motif other Malay. However, similar to floral motif, geometric motifs have been incorporated in the shape of our environments, building, and design. In fact, the record of geometric patterns that have been confirmed in architecture as shown in refer to ancient civilization in Mesopotamia from 3000 BC that have left trace to scarred geometry in their structures. Similar to floral motif, calligraphic is carved as purported relief or a combination of both patterns. Quranic inscriptions are shown as wood carved panels in various Arabic writing style. Examples of the application of calligraphy in decorative elements can be seen on the decorative plan at the Kampung Hulu Mosque, Melaka, where the verses of the Quran are engraved in the form of purported letters combined with floral motifs and placed in 7 rows as shown above. In the Islamic world, the art of calligraphy has always been of high importance among Muslim scholars because of its connection with religions. Arabic script between the 7th and 11th century can be well categorized into the 3 main types, namely Hijazi, Kufi, and Persian Kufi. After this 3 main style of Arabic writing, the other script are mastered one after the other. Mention the word cursive to this tipsy writing such as Naskah, Tulu, Nastaliq, and Diwani, which appear cursive in appearance from Kufi groups that appear more angular. The Umayyads were the first Islamic dynasty to begin applying inscription in architectural decoration and continue the epigraphy tradition in Islamic theories by ordering inscriptions on stone and mosque. And distinction must be made between scarred art in the strict sense and art which is religious in nature without scarred such as flowers or geometry. Calligraphic decoration is an art form uh, correct and practiced by Muslims for many years. Art can be defined as religious art or the criteria of authenticity. Authenticity.
Good morning, my name is Harrison. Now I will be continue for 2.3, the development of calligraphy carving in the past. The art of calligraphy in the past was only used as a house light, such as on the roof, porch, and window. The motif that very used in that time is flora and animal. But before the advent of Islam, the motifs were free. The carving not just only limited to flower carving, but also carving like animal and so on. Since the coming of Islam to the Malay land, use pattern that a living thing and the spirit was slowly removed on the basis of the rule of the religion of Islam itself. Then calligraphy carving is more in line with Islam itself. The use of the holy verse of the Quran was made as a terms in Malay carving that time. The use of holy verse of Quran can only be used for a specific purpose and cannot be angered at all. For example, between carving verse of Quran on the chair, because the chair is where a person sit. If a person sit on the carving that use the holy verse of the Quran, then it is considered impolite and wrong in Islam. Carving on the frame is a good one because the frame is hung high above the floor and symbolize the greatness of Islam itself. In addition, the rakal, the Quran is also suitable because the rakal is used as a place to the Quran, and finally on the mimbar found in the mosque, which is always used as a place to deliver some by Islam scholar. This is, for example, carving in a wood for frame, rakal, and mimbar. Others, a change in the terms of motif as described. Earlier animal motifs have been slowly discarded because they are considered imported. Then, calligraphy carving is now widely used on the porch of the mosque and also traditional houses. In the past, calligraphy carving only used Jawi writing and can be used on curtain thing, but now there are also calligraphy carving that use common sentence that were used today. Lastly, such a style can be considered free to be carved on any surface of the fact at no sensitive to religion and only writing. Okay, in the right one, we can see this is for example, calligraphy without use holy or written I means, yeah. Okay, now we enter to the 3.0 conclusion, a final one. Okay, in conclusion, we are aware that the art of calligraphy carving are the work of a heritage that is still passed down from generation to generation until they are multiplied, changed to the Malay carving at same Malay that time and now. In addition, calligraphy brought about by Islam came to Malay has a lot composed Malay tradition carving as the Islam size using element of motif are considered that living things are able to tap into polynism should continue to be applied in art of carving. Therefore, there is an Islamic calligraphy carving that we see today because such carving are more sacred and good. Finally, hopeful the Malaysian community can continue the art of calligraphy like this so that it will not be consumed by the time. So, until here our presentation, and we want to say to thank you.